Well, once upon a time, in a world where superheroes and villains were as common as the morning dew, there lived Ginny, a 67-year-old drag queen who had a unique set of superpowers. Unlike most caped crusaders who relied on brute strength and gadgets, Jean's power came from his mastery of Tai Chi and Chinese herbalism. He could summon the power of the elements and channel it through his body, making him faster, stronger, and more fabulous than any mere mortal. Jean was a flamboyant figure in the city, known for his extravagant outfits and his daring escapades. He had saved the city from countless villains, but his arch-nemesis was a Type A, Christian vegan who drank Starbucks and consumed sugar. The villain, whose name was not worth mentioning, despised Jean for his love of meat, leather, and all things hedonistic. One night, as Jean was chasing a thieving possum on a skateboard through the Olympia woods, he lost his footing and tumbled down a steep hill. He rolled over rocks and brambles, but somehow managed to land on his feet, thanks to his training in Tai Chi. As Jean dusted himself off, he noticed he was surrounded by a dense mist, and he could barely see his hand in front of his face. Suddenly, he heard a voice behind him. "Hello, Jean! We meet again!" Jean turned around to face his old nemesis, who was standing a few feet away, with his arms folded and a smug grin on his face. "What do you want, villain? Don't you have some Miso tofu to scramble?" Jean asked, trying to sound confident. "I want you to suffer, Jean. I want you to pay for your sins," the villain replied. "What sins?" Jean asked, confused. "Your sins of gluttony, lust, and greed. You indulge in meat, leather, and pleasure, while I live a life of purity and self-denial. You represent everything that is wrong with this world," the villain said, his voice rising with each word. Jean laughed. "Oh, I see. You're one of those self-righteous types who think they're better than everyone else because of their diet and lifestyle choices. Let me tell you something, villain. I don't care about your judgment or your approval. I am who I am, and I'm proud of it." The villain's face turned red with anger. "You are nothing but a degenerate Jean, a freak of nature who deserves to be punished." Jean shook his head. "No, my friend. You are the one who needs to be punished for your intolerance and your narrow-mindedness. You see, I may be a drag queen, a meat-eater, and a pleasure-seeker, but I'm also a superhero who fights for justice and equality. And you, my dear nemesis, are just as bitter as that crap coffee you drink, a lonely, bitter man who hates himself and the world around him." The villain clenched his fists and charged towards Jean, but our superhero was ready for him. He dodged his attacks with grace and precision, using his knowledge of Tai Chi to redirect the villain's energy and turn it against him. With each move, Jean felt his power growing, fueled by the herbs and spices he had ingested earlier that night. As the battle raged on, the mist began to clear, revealing a beautiful full moon shining above the treetops. Jean felt a surge of energy, and he knew it was time to end this. He summoned all his strength, and with a swift kick, he sent the villain flying into the air, and he landed in a nearby pond. Jean walked towards his nemesis, and as he stood over him, he said, "You know what the problem with you is? You don't know how to enjoy life. You don't know how to appreciate the beauty and diversity of this world. You're so focused on your own narrow worldview that you can't see anything else. That's why you'll never win against me, villain, because I have something you don't. I have love. Love for myself, love for others, and love for life." The villain coughed up pond water and burnt coffee and glared at Jean. "You may have won this round, Jean, but I'll be back, and next time I won't be so merciful." Jean smiled. "I'll be waiting for you, my friend, and until then I'll keep living my life to the fullest, enjoying every moment and every sensation, because that's what superheroes do. We don't just save the world, we live in it." With that, Jean turned around and walked away, leaving the villain in the pond, alone and defeated. As he walked back to the city, he couldn't help but feel grateful for his life, his powers, and his freedom. He may have lost his skateboard to a possum that night, But he gained something far more valuable. Gene had gained a deeper understanding of himself, his purpose, and his place in the world, and that, he knew, was worth more than any skateboard or any superpower.